been a while for me, but my name is Jeff Swarr. I teach and coach at Lampeter Strasburg High School, mainly baseball, but one of the things I do is work a lot with guys on mental skills to prepare you to compete. All right? And basically just kind of thinking about is the heart of competition. All right, what I want you to do is clap every time I catch the ball. Okay, focus in, let's go. Now see how many times you can clap until I catch the ball. Now stand up and do it, ready? You can sit down, it's the only way I can get you to give me a standing ovation, so start that way. All right, here we go. First we're going to talk about 3 things you need to be able to be a competitor. Habits. I want you to focus on this. Okay, focus on being a player over a prospect. You know you want to accomplish things, you know you want to be able to play at the next level, but you got to focus on being a player, not just a prospect. A player is someone that competes, gets ready to go, right? And your habits drive that. So I know things have been really weird this year with school. We just graduated last Friday. Teachers had to go on Mondays. Anybody in here still in school? You still have school going on?
Yeah.
Where in the world are you from?
I'm from North Jersey.
North Jersey. Okay, well my apologies to you. But anyway, look, summer is a time for development. You have extra time. You have extra time. What I mean by that is basically every person in here has 86,400 seconds. It's what you do with that. During the school year, it's pretty scripted for you. The bell's going to ring at whatever time it starts, and the bell's going to ring at whatever time it ends. Well, that's open now. You got time that you can use. And it's what are you going to do? Okay, when the alarm goes off in the morning, are you going to hit the ground running, or are you just going to kind of roll out of bed? I know some of you have time scripted. You got to be at the field at maybe 7 a.m. Your coach is working. But what are you doing? What are you doing to use that time? So we want to develop, this is, nobody's in school, but we got H plus A equals P. Your habits plus your attitudes equal perseverance. We're going to talk about those 3 things today. So first on the front, okay, habits. Brain studies find that having a champion athlete start pondering technique during performance offers a sure recipe for screw-up. I love this, especially as a baseball coach. You go out, guys struggling, you make sure it's a strike before you swing, and you're ready to go. Oh my goodness, if you're thinking about that, the pitcher's got the advantage. Well, it's the same thing here. There's a reason. I've been a couple, I'm not quite sure how many now, but 5, 6, 7 of Coach Cantafio's camps. What's he do at the same time? What's he do at the start of every camp? What'd you guys just do? Warm-up drill rotations. Are they different each week? Maybe tweak 1 or 2 things, but it's building habits. Okay, so that when you get in a competition, when you get in a game, you're not thinking about technique. It's there. It's ready to go. It's habits. It's habits that you can use in your life. All right? Every day you should choose 3 things that you're going to do to build the discipline. You've heard me say this before. Okay? For me, it's shave and floss. Okay? You joke, but I just went to the dentist. They were like, oh, I can tell you've been flossing. They said, how often do you do that? I said, once a day. They're like, about 5% of the people come in here. That's why they got a job. They got a job. We're giving money to them because people don't do what they know they should do. So developing those little disciplines. Another thing I do, it's crazy. When I go to the grocery store, I make sure my cart is back in the cart return. Do you know how frustrating that is when you're driving around the grocery store and the cart sticks way out? People are too lazy to push it in. How much time does it take to do that? 2 seconds. All right? Basically, habits plus attitude equals perseverance. What do you do to get stronger? You lift, right? Okay. Well, when you do that, you're building muscles. You're building muscles. You can feel that, right? You go to lift, you feel that you're getting stronger. Gentlemen, you can build your focus and attention. The same thing happens. Focus and attention is a physical act. I'm going to show you a picture here. Basically, this is what's going on in your brain. Brain cell comes out, there's a gap between another brain cell. When you were just down there doing drills, you were firing electrical impulses back and forth across those to develop that pathway. Everybody in here can walk, right? Okay. Were you born being able to walk? No. Okay. Do you know that on average, a child falls 30,000 times before they're considered a proficient walker? Could you imagine if you threw 30,000 incomplete passes, do you think you'd still be throwing passes? No, they Overcome adversity, you build things. Well, that's what you're doing. Okay, we've done this before. You've seen this before for guys that have been here. We've done focused concentration grids where you went for a certain time and you would choose the 0, then you have to find the 1, then you have to find the 2, then you have to find the 3, you have to find the 4. I don't have one on paper for you today, but I do have one for you to do on the screen because it's a little bit of a bigger challenge. Okay, what I want you to do is stand up. Now, okay, you'll see, now, when you're in a game, is your heart rate pretty calm? Not usually, pretty fired up. Okay, give yourselves a little bit of room. Okay, enough that you can do a jumping jack. All right, ready? Do 5 jumping jacks, just 5. It'll get your heart going. Go ahead. 3, 4, 5. Ready? Here we go. In your own head, go. You're going to find the 1, then the 2. Try and find it. Okay, here's 2. I'll help you out. If you can find the 3, there's 4. Now. Okay, keep the number to yourself. Don't say it because your partner's going to get all whacked out then. Okay, now what I want you to do, stay focused in on it. Just jog in place. See if you can find your next number. Then find the next one. Okay, relax, stop. I'm going to go back. Okay, so it's not... Okay, now you know your number. You know your number. I lied, we only did it for 35 seconds. We're going to do it for 35 seconds again. Your job is to compete against yourself and beat what you got. Okay? Your job is to compete against yourself and beat what you got. Ready? And start. Honor system, you're on your own. You find the number. Walk. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you beat your time last time? Okay. You had a little bit of a head start because the numbers are there for you. Sit down, relax. Okay. What you're doing right now, that's focus and attention. It's a physical act. It is a physical act. And I'm going to tell you right now, like, who's the youngest guy in here? How old are you? 8. Going to be 9. How many 18-year-olds we got? Anybody 18? 17. Okay. So you can focus more as a 17-year-old than you could as a 9-year-old. Okay, I got a 5-year-old son. 9-year-old, what's your name? Chris can focus a lot more than my 5-year-old son. You build that skill. Okay, I can focus a lot longer than you can, but you build that skill. I don't like it when people say, well, that kid can't focus. Okay, well, it's a skill that we're building. There's ways to do that. You did it right there. Okay, you have that ability. All right, now, basically these things, I want you to think about making deposits. What happens when you make deposits? In the bank. Deposit into a savings account. Over time, it's going to grow, right? Put more money in the bank, more money in the bank, more money in the bank, more money in the bank. When you're doing work, when you're doing the repetitions, when you're doing the practice, tomorrow when you get a chance to watch film in here, you're making deposits in the bank. Making deposits into a trust fund. This is a nice trust fund. I'm talking about the trust fund that's you. You're making deposits into a trust fund. So you look at the back of that first page. You're making deposits into my trust fund. So look at them here. You know, you build your trust fund on the practice field. You're building your trust fund. In the classroom, film study, academically, you're building your trust fund. So you trust yourself. Okay, you're doing it at home too. When you get out of bed and you hit the ground running and you're ready to go, you're building your trust fund. So eventually, you can make a withdrawal. Eventually, you need to be able to make a withdrawal. In the game time, you're ready to make a withdrawal. You've done all the work. You've made the deposits in the trust fund. You trust yourself. You're ready to make a withdrawal on Friday night in the fall. Right? And the beautiful thing about this is, you know what? There's no credit cards. You can't swipe a credit card on Friday night, Saturday, whenever you play, in the fall, with money that's not there, with trust fund that's not there. You got to put the work in. You can't swipe a credit card on Friday night, Saturday, whenever you play, in the fall, with money that's not there, with trust fund that's not there. You got to put the work in. Now, what major world events going on sports-wise right now? World Cup. I'm assuming that nobody in here is a big soccer fan. Okay? I like watching it. It's interesting, and it's kind of like the Olympics. It happens once every 4 years. You guys, I look around here, know some of you, I know you play other sports, so you probably have an interest in some things that happen sport-wise. So you know the World Cup's going on. If you watch ESPN, you can't get away from it. It's either LeBron or the World Cup. Or now it's Tigers coming back next week. So, okay? Give me a great soccer player in the world. Ronaldo, first one you came up with. It's like you knew what I was going to put up with next, or you checked it in the packet. I'll show you. Now, I will say this. I try to vary some things. This is about a 10-minute video. The overall was a 60-minute story that they did on testing Ronaldo. But this is all about his and skills that he's built over time. You got to put up with some English accents, sorry.
For the first time, Cristiano Ronaldo is being put under the microscope. Sports scientists are testing the component parts that make him one of the world's most valuable footballers. His body strength has been tested. But now, scientists are going to test his mental ability. How much of Ronaldo's success comes from what his mind is doing on the pitch?
He is as well a little bit air of arrogance, you know, but believe that he is the number one. First, it comes from the fact that you know you can. Deeply inside himself, he knows that if he wants, he can pass anybody.
Strong mentality, the quality is coming natural. So I always try to be focused in my game, and my mental is quite good.
To find out how his mental ability contributes to his performance, the scientists are going to start by testing Ronaldo's spatial awareness. State-of-the-art eye trackers that will reveal exactly what he looks at when he plays.
Okay, last one.
They are operated by equipment specialist John Ward.
To the top. Perfect. That's good.
And running this test is sports psychologist Zoe Wimshurst.
With Ronaldo, he's going to be using all of his senses pretty much while he's playing. Probably around between 80 and 90% of the information that he's taking in will be coming through his eyes.
Try to stop Andy taking possession of the ball, and the technology will reveal how he does it.
So John, the eye tracker, explain to us exactly how this works.
Okay, so you both wear an equipment where we have a camera looking at the eye, and it uses infrared light to reflect from the eye. This picks up an image, and we have a camera at the front here that looks at what you're seeing, so yourself and Cristiano. The software will then match those two together. We'll be able to see exactly what you guys are looking at.
Fantastic, let's do this thing. Okay, let's see if you can keep that ball 5 seconds away from me. Play. That's good 5 seconds. That's a good 5 seconds. That is quality.
Now they're going to
There's
show
no
what
doubt
he
that
watches
Ronaldo's
when he
feet are
tracks.
fast and effective,
And I want to equate
but
this
what
for
part
you
does his
to what
mind
you
play in
do.
this ability?
Tomorrow you're going to do film study. What you'll be able to read to build those things.
The eye trackers show intriguing results. On the replay, the little red dot shows exactly what Ronaldo's looking at.
You'd expect a lot of players to be focused on the ball the whole time. With Ronaldo, he did look at the ball a fair amount of time, but he was much more looking around, looking at the defender and taking in the information from his body, and also scanning for the spaces beyond the defender.
Andy, on the other hand, can't afford to take his eyes off the ball because he doesn't have quite the same ability to predict where the ball is going.
To actually see what's going on, we need to slow it down to 1/3 of actual speed. That's how fast Cristiano is, so you didn't have much of a chance, I'm afraid.
Thanks.
In 8 seconds, he pulled 13 moves on you. Okay, and we're not just talking kicks of the ball, we're talking step overs, spins. Oh, it was beautiful. So you can see here on the gaze data, you can see he's concentrating on the ball, but what you'll see, and the interesting thing, is when he wants to go past you and looking at how you're moving, he's predicting where you're sort of going to be, he's looking for movement in the hips to sort of plan his next move.
So he looks at the ball, then he looks at where I move, and then he executes his trick.
You see it comes in, looks at your foot, looks to the other one, up to the hip. Really accurate, precise, sharp movements. And then when we look to watching you, you're mostly trying to follow the ball, which means you're only ever going to be able to react to where the ball is moving rather than anticipate in advance anything that he's going to do. So you're always going to be that one step behind. And also your eye movement you can see is much more all over the place.
Well, this looks more like a pinball where my eye's going. He's locked in.
You're constantly chasing him, basically.
And I bet if you asked him, you probably wouldn't know what it was that he was looking at. It's all in his subconscious. He knows where he's picking up the information that's going to best help him. And without even thinking about it, he's looking for those angles of your hips, your knee and your foot. And obviously it's working pretty well for him.
So that's just...
That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to build.
Ronaldo's subconscious ability has come from thousands of hours of practice, which have filled his mind with so many permutations of the game to tap into, that when it comes to match play, he has an uncanny ability to perform without having to think or even look at the ball.
He is effectively a scholar of football. It's the same way as studying any other subject, learning a new language, anything like that. You build up experience, you learn the basic rules of grammar in the different words that are available to you. So in football terms, that's going to be the skills, then putting them into a match situation. And so as you become more fluent in the language, you don't need to think about it as much.
So Ronaldo's ability to intuitively read the game under normal conditions. But what if the conditions are very far from normal? Can Ronaldo still hit the back of the net if all the lights are turned off and he's in complete darkness?
Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to have Andy feeding the balls in as if it's a cross, and then sometime in the ball flight, the lights are going to go black, so you won't be able to see anything at all. We're expecting you to be able to put the ball in the goal. That's what we're hoping will happen. We're hoping that you'll have picked up some advanced cues from Andy's body position, the shapes, the positioning of his feet and his hips, and therefore we'll be able to tell exactly where the ball's going to go and get yourself in the right position, even though you can't see it.
Okay.
Taking Ronaldo on in this seemingly impossible test is an amateur footballer called Ronald.
Named Ronald.
Come and join me, Ronald.
Instead of Ronaldo.
Ronald, Ronaldo. So we've got Ronald in here. Roughly the same height. We're going to use Ronald as a comparison and see how he reacts doing this same test.
Ronald is going first.
Dark! Light! Light!
So what does the night vision reveal? Ronald misses the ball by quite a way. Perhaps not that surprising. But can Ronaldo do any better?
I would think so.
I hope to do once.
Dark! Light!
Aye, that's one straight in the back.
The night vision replay shows how differently Ronaldo performs.
Right as he kicks the ball.
To confirm that wasn't just luck, another attempt.
Okay, this should be you. If we were to take it away, maybe close your eyes and be able to drill down
Love
there.
that.
This should be you. You've practiced so many times.
And the replay?
How hard is that?
It's difficult because it's changed a lot.
Yeah.
Because you're focusing on the ball, and after no light, you have to try to memorize the ball.
Human reaction time is about 200 milliseconds, and by 500 milliseconds, Ronaldo's subconscious has interpreted Andy's body language, worked out which direction the ball will go in, calculated its speed and trajectory, and then programmed his body to reach it at the optimum moment.
Love that.
It's almost as if they're doing maths in their head, even though they wouldn't be able to describe it to you. You could see from there, if it saw the first part of the ball flight information, he'd picked up information from Andy kicking the ball and was able to move his body into the correct position. This is because he's processed the information, he has experience of where the ball is likely to go, he's able to analyse all that as it's coming towards him and therefore connect successfully with the ball. Ronald, on the other hand, doesn't have this same level of experience. He would have watched the ball flight. It's likely that he will just have had his eyes on the ball instead of picking up any information from Andy himself. And then when the lights go down and it's black, he's kind of stranded in no man's land a little bit and just has to do his best to react, but is naturally going to struggle with that.
I think his last name's McDonald.
So far, the lights have been shut off when the ball is in midair. But now, the lights will be turned off just at the moment Andy kicks it. Can Ronaldo score with only Andy's body language to go on?
There you go, we'll get one. We good?
Yeah, good.
Okay, Ronaldo.
Dark! Light.
Light. Aye! Ronaldo, quality. What was that, a shoulder? Back. Great finish, great finish. Great finish.
This is great.
Or not, but all right, it is. Okay, so come from thousands of hours of practice. You're making deposits today, right? So let's say you're working the entire time. I mean, you're here from 9 to 3, so that's 6 hours. I'm not saying you're working that whole time, but you're looking at 6 hours today. But thousands of hours of practice. So you got to be making deposits to be able to do those. The next one, if Ronaldo can determine the flight of the ball without light through practice and the needed execution of a play, okay? You're trying basically that practice and experience every time you do it, because, you know, I know practice can get boring. You've got to be able to keep it fresh in your mind. When you're doing the drills down there, it's got to stay fresh. You're making this deposit, so you can think about putting something in the bank every single time. You're ready to make a withdrawal when it comes up. He's making calculations and decisions to execute his skills all the time, reading those cues. So when you go through film study tomorrow, that's a piece of it. When you go down and do drills now, that's a piece of it. It's all those pieces. So if you can kind of think about it and put all those, basically you develop habits which allow you to react. So if you know what your read is, you're able to see that, you're able to react right away. Those habits build those reactions. So I want you to think about this. All of those pieces put together give you this. Okay, so whenever you're doing film study, whenever you're doing drills, when you're doing 7-on-7, you're doing visualization. Thank you. You're doing those things keep you moving. They are making deposits. They're all the things that you put together. To kind of tie with Ronaldo, one of the things that is pretty popular for soccer players is they play futsal. Anybody know what that is? Okay, it's basically a very, very small version of soccer. You want to describe it a little?
In regulation soccer, they play 11v11, and it's kind of like a smaller game of soccer.
Yeah, it's like they put it in, if you can imagine, they almost put it on the size of like a basketball court. A lot more touches, there's a lot more actions, but that's one of the reasons that you do 7-on-7. Okay, you increase that tempo, you increase the repetitions that you get, so therefore hopefully multiplying your improvement faster. Visualization, okay? Maybe you don't have the ability to get out on a day to do drills, maybe you don't have somebody to work with, but visualizing, things happen twice. First they happen in your mind, then you execute them. So you're putting those things together. These are all pieces of what you do. When you go through film study tomorrow, take that and be able to visualize it. We see, we learn in images. The fact that I show you that video is something better for you than if I just told you a story. Okay, we see, we learn in images. So that's better for us. All right, now, think about what I want you to look at last is flip over. We got the habit poem. Okay, try and do a couple different things but this is the habit poem. We want to build those. I am your constant companion. I am your greatest helper or your heaviest burden. If you have a bad habit, it drags you down. Good habits build you up. I will push you onward or drag you down to failure. I am completely at your command. So, you think about when you step up to the lunch line at school, you usually get something out of habit. Okay, well you can change that. You can determine each day you do have a choice. If you're going to choose something that's going to help you out, make you healthier, or you're going to choose something that's going to drag you down. Okay? Are you going to go get the fried food, or are you going to get the salad? Are you going to get the soda, or are you going to get the water, or something that has nutrients in it? Half of the things you do, you might as well turn over to me. I will do them quickly and correctly. I am easily managed. You must be firm with me. Show me exactly how you want something done, and after a few lessons, I will do it automatically. Last of all failures as well. Those who are great, I have made great. Those who are failures, I have made failures. I am not a machine, though. I work with precision of a machine plus the intelligence of a person. You may run me for profit or run me for ruin. It makes no difference to me. Take me, train me, be firm with me, and I will place the world at your feet. Be easy with me, and I will destroy you. Who am I? I am a habit. All right? Habits, you build. You build. You reward yourself, too. That is what a habit loop is. Something that cues it, you do the habit, and you get a reward from it. It's what you do as an athlete. You have a read, you execute it, and you get the reward with the completion, or the score, or the win. But it's that process that takes you there. Okay? What you're going to see here, first step is your habit. You build that. You make deposits in the bank. Lastly, a habit of hustle. Successful people move 25% faster than unsuccessful people. Losers move slow. You build more time. So the faster that you get down to do the next drill, the more time you have to get more repetitions in, to get more practice to be ready to go. Make sure you have your name on the front of your packet. You're going to make a pile on the background table. I need 4 copies, correct? I'll get them made, get them down, pens in the box, and hustle down. Get going.